production.
Mapenzi ni bahari lisilo na mwisho. Mapenzi ni moto kwa roho na haichomi.
Nimempenda msichana ewa kisonko, mi humona kwenye ndoto usiku nikiwa ghetto. Uishi Runda, kwetu ni Dandora, kuna rusho makombora na kumeja wakora.
Lakini je anakupenda? Najua we unampenda. Basi nenda pole pole, siku moja utampata.
Penzi wangu never leave me. Penzi wangu rende pole pole.
Take it slow as you go step by step. Take it slow as you go step by step.
Anabonga tukilami, hapendi mama pima, hapendi za madondo, anataka tu mapiza. Anabonga tukilami, hapendi mama pima, hapendi za madondo, anataka tu mapiza.
Enda pole pole, bado unasaka. Chochote unataka, with time utapata. Hakuna matata, hakuna matata. Enda pole pole, bado unasaka.
Penzi wangu never leave me. Penzi wangu rende pole pole.
Take it slow as you go step by step. Take it slow as you go step by step.
Penzi wangu never leave me. Penzi wangu rende pole pole.
Take it slow as you go step by step. Take it slow as you go step by step.
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Power Radio.
Oga onyamalie, oga onjurage koro, oga ondige taitare na kene ye. Oga guwathie, oga umelie de toro, oga ondige taitare na kene.
feel when I was your old From sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Power Radio.
It's your girl, SDL. You know how we do. We make it sticky like glue. Michelle, sing it. Oh. Drink grandma's porridge. Talk to my elder, listen while I speak knowledge. Next morning, be on my way to Nairobi. Do another song, bait, now they all know me. And magazines can write all kinds of bullshit. But let me tell you this, SDL will always do this. Lift your hands, swing them around like $1,000,000. Make sure everybody here know what's up. It's been a while now, finally I'm coming home. With the perfect beat, go ahead and shake it off.
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Power Radio.
Alrighty, welcome back. Well, it's not welcome back, it's welcome actually. I do not know why I am running ahead of myself, but it's so good to see you. Happy Monday, this 28th of April. The year is 2025. My God, I cannot believe that we are just 2 days shy from the month of May. My God, 2025, why are you running? I do not understand where you're going to. But anyway, we move regardless. How was your weekend? Weekend ilikuwa vipi? Did you go to spend time with friends, family? Did you go to church? For our Catholic sisters and brothers, did you go and because I know you guys are ombolezaing Papa, Mr. Pope himself, may his soul rest in peace. Yeah, just let me know. How was your weekend? And are you stoked for this weekend? Of course, it's back to school. Children are going back to school, and that explains why there was a lot of traffic from many parts of the country this morning. And I will get into the traffic updates just in a moment. But before we do, let me just give you a couple of things that you need to look out for on today's lineup. We are going to be talking about the role of mediation in conflict resolution. My guest is already in studio with me, and so that's definitely a conversation that you want to catch. The world is wrapped up in a lot of wars, and so we have to interrogate and question ourselves about what do we do to ensure that we are working towards a sustainable peace and stability, both politically, economically, socially as well. And so that's a conversation that you definitely do not want to miss. You can also get in touch with us on our social media handles. We are at Power Radio across all socials, where we are also streaming live. That's Twitter. We are also, or X, if you like to call it that. We are also on our YouTube channel, Power Radio, and also on our website, www.power254.org/Power Radio. And also you can find us on our Facebook page, that is Power Radio. All right, let's get into some traffic updates today. And we start off with Thika Road. Kama kawaida, just always traffic along Thika Road. So traffic starts all the way from the Kenya School of Monetary Studies. It's just as you go towards this the KCA University area there, as traffic bumper to bumper. I can see that it's actually inbound and outbound as well. So be on the lookout for that. We also have Kiambu Road looking quite busy this morning from DCI all the way down towards Muthaiga. There's a lot of traffic happening on that area as well. The same situation happening also along Limuru Road as well. Traffic starts all the way from Village Market down towards Karura. Same situation happening along Juja Road this morning. Same situation also happening along Muranga Road, kumeshikana bumper to bumper. Ring Road pia, same situation happening as well. Jogoo Road is also looking quite busy this morning, especially as you go into town. Ladis Road looking quite busy as well this morning. It's definitely, it's not something new as well. Just a little bit of traffic also from Kenyatta Avenue, on Kenyatta Avenue as you drop down from Valley Road. Valley Road is not looking quite shabby this morning. It's quite clear. So nothing much to complain about as well. I can see that Ngong Road pia kumeshikana, especially from actually all the way from the Junction Mall down towards the Coptic Hospital. There's a lot of traffic as well. It actually spills over as you go towards Kenyatta as well. Same situation also happening along Langata Road this morning. Traffic starts all the way from just as you leave the Weston Hotel. Yes, that's where traffic starts building up, but it's manageable. Nothing much to complain about. I know that tomorrow is when actually more schools are going to be opening, so I do expect that traffic is going to be crazier tomorrow. Mombasa Road from Capital Center down into the Nairobi West Hospital area. A lot of traffic also happening on that road. Same situation as well happening along Bunyala Road as well. Lusaka Road, I beg your pardon, is also looking quite busy this morning. Lower Kabete Road, same situation from Zen Garden as you go towards where is this? As you go towards Westlands, Kumeshikana. Ring Road, Kileleshwa is also looking quite busy this morning. And it spills over down as you go towards Wanyoike way as well, which actually is looking quite busy as well this morning from Safaricom House, Wanyoike way, Meshikana, all the way down as you head towards Westlands as well. And that should be just about what is happening on our roads this morning. In case where you are and I've not mentioned, kindly let us know. The hashtag to use is hashtag Pawa Morning Drive. You can let us know where you are, and we'll get into some music. And when we come back, we get into what has been making the local and international news roundup. This is Power Radio.
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Power Radio.
Fine boy with a dark skin, bad man, you a strong thing. The way you hold your gaze from across the room. Your papa must be king, oh, and your mama must be queen, eh? Cause you're royalty, and you made me crazy. Drip like sugar, smell like honey, taste like butter. East African girl, Nigerian man. You driving me crazy. Drip like sugar, smell like honey, taste like butter. East African girl, Nigerian man. You made me be your. I wanna be your. Oh baby, baby, I wanna be your.
Fine girl from East Africa, original from the motherland. When you look at me, I see a destiny. You've been born from the sea, oh, and your skin is a Sunday. With your beauty, yeah, you drive me crazy. Drip like sugar, smell like honey, taste like butter. Nigerian man, East African girl. Would you be mine? Drip like sugar, smell like honey, taste like butter. Nigerian man, East African girl. Could you be my gilly, gilly, gilly? Could you be my gilly, gilly, gilly? Could you be my gilly, 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 gilly? Could you be my gilly, gilly, gilly? Would you be my?
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Power Radio.
Kwa umbali sikuoni, sauti nasikia, imekuwa siku mingi, nimekupa siku mbili, ukitua, nina hili la kusema. Wewe jipe shughuli, nenda jipe shughuli, yeah. Wewe jipe shughuli, yeah. Nenda jipe shughuli, jipe shughuli, yeah. Ooh, yeah. Da, 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 da. Matunda yameiva, si kazi yangu kuyachuna, na mwaka umepita, hujaonekana nyumbani. Wewe nimeongeza miezi 2, ujionyeshe nyumbani, jumwangaza ukitua, nina hili la kusema. Wewe jipe shughuli, nenda jipe shughuli, jipe shughuli. Wewe jipe shughuli, yeah. Nenda jipe shughuli, oh. Usiku kitandani nalia, nikiuliza uko wapi wewe. Usiku kitandani nalia, nikiuliza uko wapi wewe. Usiku kitandani nalia, nikiuliza uko wapi wewe, yeah, yeah. Usiku kitandani nalia, nikiuliza uko wapi wewe. Wewe jipe shughuli, jipe shughuli, nenda jipe shughuli, jipe shughuli.
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Power Radio. Rise to sunset, all day and night. Power Radio.
Alrighty, welcome back. That is Salary, Mr. Nameless, and it's playing right here on Power Radio. This is the Power Morning Drive show. My name is Wanyoike, and as promised, my guest is already in the studio, and we are going to get to know him just in a moment. But before we do that, remember you can get in touch with us on our social media handles. We are at Power Radio across all socials. You can also find us on our website, www.power254.org/power radio. Right. Mr. Graham Mboya joins us this morning. Good morning, sir.
Yes, good morning.
Yeah, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Yeah, tuko salama. Weekend imekuwa vipi?
Weekend imekuwa salama.
Yes.
Just baridi kidogo, but I think now things have eased up kidogo.
Yes.
Kuna jua kidogo.
Angalau the sun, you know. I'm quite stoked about that as well. Right. So welcome to Power Radio.
Thank you.
For people who do not know who you are, kindly introduce yourself and all the things that you're about, and then we'll get into our discussions.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, my name is Graham Mboya, and I am a second year law student. Yes, and professionally, I'm a certified mediator.
Yes.
Currently in private practice, yes. I juggle between the two, that is studies and mediation itself. And I'm really passionate about leadership,
Yeah.
diplomacy, and just bettering society as a whole.
Yeah.
So I think that is that. And potentially a businessman.
Potentially.
Yes.
So if you were to be an entrepreneur, what kind of businesses would you get into?
Well, I would go into sales because I think that is so far the best,
Right.
Kind of business you can do. That is
Yeah.
acting as a retailer.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Or restaurant business,
Right.
depending on the amount of income I have at the
Okay.
moment, yes.
Okay. I hear you. Sawa sawa, karibu sana. And of course, as you heard, he is a certified mediator, and we shall be getting into some of the work that he does as a mediator. And also, our topic of discussion for today is the role of mediation in conflict resolution. I mean, you cannot ignore what has been happening. You know, in Congo, we have Gaza, you know, we have Sudan, a lot of wars happening. So how can we ensure that we are working towards a sustainable future that is more peaceable amongst each other? And of course, this is a conversation that you do not want to miss out on. All right, but before we get into our conversation, let's just discuss what is making the dailies this morning. And I start off with just highlighting some of the cover stories on the Daily Nation. The top story that the Daily Nation has highlighted is Kenya will this year pay 1.8 trillion Kenya shillings, over half of the country's budget, to its creditors, highlighting the growing burden of debt that has spiraled to 11 trillion Kenya shillings, a whopping 11 trillion Kenya shillings, with debts maturing, a public hostile to new taxes, and a looming International Monetary Fund program. President William Ruto walks on economic tightrope, and they're just showing us, the kind of the debt index that the three former presidents have been. I mean, the two former presidents, in comparison to the current president, have been able to get us into, with Mwai Kibaki left us with a debt of 1.9 trillion Kenya shillings. Uhuru Kenyatta left us with a debt of 8.6 trillion shillings, and now Kasongo, William Ruto, leaves us at 11 trillion Kenya shillings. And of course, we'll come back and discuss our 4-point budget, our 4.2 or something like that, trillion budget that Kenya, that we are the budget of the country is win, but then again you look at the 11 trillion debt index that we are in, so there's definitely a discrepancy there that we need to discuss further. Right. On the page 14 of the Daily Nation, there's a story about the Tanzania bound plane recalled to JKIA after suspected hazardous chemical leak, a story that goes on page 14. Then on the security, page 5, countdown to return of first contingent of Kenya police from deadly Haiti mission. We also have a story on page 2. The schools reopen today as head teachers demand funds to avert unrest. And then on the sports back page, Kenya's rising star Sebastian Sawe storms to victory in London Marathon. All right. On the Standard newspaper, The top story reads UDA's tax evasion. Among the issues that continue to draw criticism of President Ruto's administration, the burden of taxes stands out. So definitely continuing to highlight, just as the Daily Nation, highlighting the issues and the debacle that is Kenya's debt, problem. Then we also have a story on back to school financial strain as new term starts. A story on page 2. NSSF plan to quickly pay pension dues, a story on business page 21 on the Standard newspaper, and Liverpool win a 20th EPL title in style, a story on page 21 of the Standard newspaper. And finally, last but not least, IMF sets tough conditions for fresh Kenya funding. It's a story here on the Business Daily. Then we also have a story here on court rejects seizure of ex-Somalia diplomats' assets on terror links. A story that continues there on the Business Daily. And who wouldn't listen to an investor who had put in $1 billion worth of money where their mouth was? A story here on page 9, written by Carol Musioka, provocateur extraordinaire. And then we also have lifestyle, page 19, how Betri beat the odds with boxing gloves. Kenya beats giant economies in digital content purchases. Naivas airs in fresh row on selection of judges to hear wealth distribution dispute. And offshore investors sell 1 billion KCB shares in Q1. That's a story that continues there on markets, page 6 of the Business Daily. If you want to get in-depth analysis of those stories, please grab your copy of those dailies and get into it. All right. Let's start off with the story that has been highlighted here on page 14 of the Daily Nation, which is the story about the KQ. There was a plane that was departing, heading towards Tanzania, Dar es Salaam, but it had to go. Let's just read something quick here from the Daily Nation, that a passenger plane headed for Dar es Salaam, Tanzania, from the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport yesterday was ordered back after a suspected leakage of hazardous biological materials. Kenya Airways flight KQ484 was 25 minutes into the flight to Julius Nyerere International Airport before it was ordered back. The plane turned around on suspicions of TB exposure in the cargo hold, resulting in passengers being stranded from 1:40 p.m. to 3:45 p.m. when authorities cleared the aircraft for takeoff. Mr. Graham Mboya, this is not the first time that we are seeing the sort of very careless negligence when it comes to our transportation industry. And it's happening on road, it's happening in the air now. I'm sure it's also happening on the sea. I don't know whether you guys have been seeing, there's a ship that was found with 1 million sheep. A ship that was found with 1 million sheep along. Yes, so they were going. I think it was illegal because they had just piled those condos, 1 million of them, and they were going towards the Gulf, and it capsized. Yeah, the ship capsized, man. Yeah. I'll look for that story and I will share with you guys. Yeah, but basically, initial reactions when you heard this story, man, like this continued negligence. We should not be having a conversation about this right now.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
So, first of all, from my knowledge or basic understanding of how airports work, there has to be like a form of check that is supposed to be conducted to the aircraft before it leaves.
Many checks.
Yeah. Has to be a lot of checks by flight engineers, by just literally everyone who is concerned.
Yeah.
So in this instance, first of all, I'm concerned, how is TB on the same airplane as passengers?
Yeah.
Going from Kenya to Tanzania, that doesn't make any sense.
Right.
I think that is utter negligence, departure from being reasonable, taking reasonable concern about the human population, because as we all know, TB is infectious and its repercussions are quite heavy on humans. So that is something that should be checked on. The the air transportation system should be at least enhanced to ensure that no such mistakes ever happen again. Because and then we understand what comes with air transport. If at all something goes wrong, just a little thing goes wrong, the fatality can be insane.
Yeah.
So that is something that should be really taken into consideration. And at least we need some explanation how such an instance came about.
That's true. Yeah. So, my God, I just hope that we are going to like, we shouldn't be talking about these things. And given that people actually pay a lot of money to be on planes, so you imagine, you would think that paying a lot of money means that you are going to be catered to, but I guess not in this country. So I hope that KQ can get their life together in order. Yes, and we avoid such negligence. But moving on to rather happier news. Kenya's rising star, Sebastian Sawe, storms in victory in London Marathon. I mean, it's been Kenyans at this point. We are just, I saw a Nigerian ranting on TikTok the other day, like, by the way, we need to just let Kenyans just continue in these marathons alone, because I guess the marathon is theirs, it's theirs. I guess the question that I want to ask is, and by the way, it was a very pompous affair. I saw a lot of Kenyans out in their flags. They were just having a good time celebrating their people. Yes, in a time where we are living, it's really hard to see anything good on the news. But having good news like Kenyans topping the charts at the London Marathon, a good thing to celebrate. Yes. Yeah.
Well, first of all, yes, I'm really happy for the achievement. Really happy for them.
Yeah.
Even, was it the week before, there was a ladies marathon, if I'm not wrong.
Yes.
And we were well represented.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and I think Kenya is doing a very good job in that sector. But as we claim we are doing a good job, we can clearly see that it is a select few. And we do understand that our talent base is quite broad.
Yeah.
And this can only be maximized if the Ministry for, that is sports and entertainment, takes into consideration that there's a lot to be done so that these talents that we have as Kenyans, yes, we are good at sports, that is from rugby and football, even though we are struggling, but yes, we are very good at it.
Yeah.
Athletics, that is out of question. We are very good at that.
Yeah.
I think the ministry should invest more in such activities that we are sure that we'll get returns from.
Right.
Yeah, that is from building stadiums, training facilities and everything.
Yeah. Okay, I hear you, but whoop whoop hooray, go Team Kenya. Go Team Kenya. All right, let's now go to some, again, sad news that actually will be a perfect segue into our discussion for today. A story here highlighted on page 5 of the Daily Nation. The first contingent of 400 officers set to return from Haiti. Fighting gangs in Haiti is expected to come back in June after completing 1 year of service in the Caribbean nation. According to Mr. Jack Ombaka, the spokesperson of the multinational security support mission, the police officers were deployed to Haiti on June 25th, 2024. And so they're slated to come back. And so far, there has been a lot of issues with this contingent. Number one being, first of all, we've had 2 casualties while leading the mission in Haiti. Of course, the gangs in Haiti they're not an easy people, right? The gangs are responsible for deaths of over 110 people in December 2024. And then, of course, there have been some issues around delayed payments and also lack of adequate equipment by this contingent. So, as a security observer, as a person who, a lot of your work revolves around security, peace, did we shoot ourselves in the foot by, first of all, should we even have sent this contingent in the first place?
Well, no, that is the matter of contention here.
Yeah.
Because how does it make any practical sense sending your police officers, your own or your security to a place that is thousands of miles away from where you are.
Yeah.
Yet at the same time, your neighbors and or within yourself, there is an issue.
Same.
There is an issue about banditry going on. We've seen that there's a rise in banditry cases that is in Rift region. We see that people in Turkana, the fishermen were abducted. Some chiefs were also abducted. So it doesn't make any sense. Why would we send police officers to another country that is it's actually out of our own continent to go for peacekeeping missions? Yet within ourselves, we still have issues that we need to sort.
Insecurity. So, I mean, left, right, and center. And then, of course, the capitation. That's also a big issue. Hawajalipwa baza, hawajalipwa maze.
Okay. Now that is a failing of the government. Because they can go to they can go saying that it is an effect of the cutting of the funding by the US to such a mission, but that should not be the case because they voluntarily entered into this form of agreement. So they should have had like a contingency plan. If at all things go south, their personnel was still going to be remunerated sufficiently. So I think that is something that is not totally fair, considering they are far from home. It's like they're in another world from home. So it's not fair at all.
Kenya is failing diplomatically. We are failing diplomatically, and if at all the Haiti contingent was supposed to fix our diplomacy, then we have failed another one. So we need to look for better ways. Sawa. That marks the end of our local and international news roundup. Let's take a quick breather. When we come back, we get into our day's conversation. Today, we are going to be looking at the role of mediation in peace talks. You know, what does it take to ensure that we are mediating correctly? We have just talked about the diplomacy, and so we'll look at the many entry points for countries in ensuring that we are working towards sustainable peace, peaceable communities and societies. So keep it Power Radio. We'll be right back.
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Power Radio.
Ninaoga jamani, ninaoga, sielewi nini inatendeka, kwa sababu vile wajitolea kunipenda mimi sijazoea. Ninawaza na tena ninapanga vile mimi naweza kutoroka. Hisia zangu ambazo zinapanda zinanifanya kuogopa. So perfectly, how can it be now that you're with me? I can't seem to believe that this is for real. Unakazana, nakataa, wajaribu kusukuma, nakataa, nimejenga ukuta kaziba, ufa uwezi ingia.
Power Radio. Tune in and power up.
Yo, back with another. Let's get it. It's Brandy. You're not the one for me, baby. You're making one big mistake. I know you're in denial, like you're killing me. You know how it. Bado tuna try sex ati. Hey, hatubongi sana bado tuko sound checks. Hatuelewani ati juu ya mindset. Hey, baby, una catch na ni ukweli. Una hesitate nini? 1+1 si wewe na mi. I'm sorry, kwa heri, I'm not your sins. What you did. Alini block, alini ghost, alini cut me, alini shock. I did this day, ati now I want talk. Alini block, sign a scan and stock. Anasema Brandy, will rewind, oh yeah. Alini block, alini ghost, alini cut me, alini shock. I did this day, ati now I want talk. Alini block, sign a scan and stock. Anasema Brandy, will rewind. Okay, I know we fit to talk one day, but then it's obvious you know go stay. Promise myself to trust in nobody. Sagote, give me common sense. So you knew that I was just a call away, but now you see me type you want to stay. Promise myself to never cross your lane. From that day, give me common sense. So I'm sorry, kwa heri. Oh, I'm sorry, kwa heri. What you did. Alini block, alini ghost, alini cut me, alini shock. I did this day, ati now I want talk. Alini block, sign a scan and stock. Anasema Brandy, will rewind, oh yeah. Alini block, alini ghost, alini cut me, alini shock. I did this day, ati now I want talk. Alini block, sign a scan and stock. Anasema Brandy, will rewind.
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Power Radio.
Alrighty, welcome back. That is Aline Block by Miss Brandy Maina, and it's playing right here on Power Radio. This is the Power Morning Drive show. My name is Wanyoike, and we are getting into our conversation this morning. I am still here with my guest, Mr. Mboya, and we're here to discuss about the role, very critical role that mediation plays when it comes to conflict resolution. So if you have any questions for him, kindly let us hit us up on our social media handles. We are at Power Radio across all socials. And yes, let's get into it. Alrighty. Graham.
Yes.
There's, it seems as if those are very, very many big terms. So let's just start right off the bat with describing some of these terms. Mm-hmm. What is mediation and what is conflict resolution?
Okay.
Yeah.
So mediation is a form of, let me start with the conflict resolution.
Okay.
So conflict resolution, we break it down into two.
Yes.
That is conflict and then resolution. So conflict is basically a disagreement of ideas between persons. It can be either. Actually, you can also be in conflict with yourself. So it doesn't.
Oh,
yeah,
yes,
you can be
yeah.
in conflict with yourself.
It's a very philosophical take, but yes, it is true.
So just not
Like I
not
can't
understand.
decide whether I like the president or not.
Exactly. Maybe you have pros and cons. So yeah.
Kidding.
So that is conflict. Resolution is just like rubbing against each other.
Yeah.
Like the ideas rubbing against each other.
Yes.
To come into one thing, so that they can be either the same or maybe doing away with one of the ideas that was there into coming up with one single channel of thought.
Gotcha.
Which can be shared. So in general, conflict resolution is just rubbing the ideas, friction between the ideas to come up with a solution, or maybe an idea that is agreeable to both parties that are in conflict. Yes.
Wow. And then mediation.
Mediation is a form of conflict resolution that involves a third party.
Okay.
Where the parties to the conflict, they come to the mediator. The mediator actually he or she plays a passive role in the mediation process, because it is the parties themselves that have to come to a solution by themselves for themselves.
Okay.
So the third party, the mediator, is neutral party in the whole thing.
Right.
Yeah, so.
All right. I think that now sets the tone of our discussion. And I think for me, my first interaction with mediation, especially when it comes to political and national matters, I think it takes me back to 2007, right?
Yeah.
After the post-election violence, when Kofi Annan was the chief mediator between the peace agreement of post-election violence, between Raila Odinga and the then President Mwai Kibaki. And, I was so young, I couldn't quite understand what was going on. But I did know that when I grow up, I want to kind of like do something that Kofi Annan, it sparks it did spark an interest in me. So I asked, I don't know who I asked, but they were like, I asked, who is Kofi Annan? And they were like, he's a diplomat. And I was like, okay, that's cool. I want to be a diplomat one day when I grow up. Yeah, well, I am not saying that I still can't be a diplomat, but I'm just, I ended up on radio. I'm perhaps mediating conversations. But yes, what do you think that moment meant for the mediation of this country and moving forward?
Okay, so fun fact is that is by the time 2007, 2008.
Yes.
When you said you were young, I was so young.
Completely.
I was 3 years old.
You are a Gen Z.
I was 3 years old by then.
Okay.
So at that time, I didn't know anything. I just had the name Kofi Annan.
Yes.
He's a good man.
Yeah.
Just as you've said.
Yeah.
Yes, but I think that is a very classic example of the power of mediation.
Yeah.
The power that mediation has. It encompasses like everything, the process, the benefits of it, and the challenges that come with mediation as a whole. So just to answer that, there's a report that came with Kofi Annan. It was called Back from the Brink. Yeah, Back from the Brink. It was a report that dealt with the challenges that the mediation process faced.
Yes.
The failings of the government and the institutions that were there in existence to ensure that the conflict didn't escalate to that extent. Because I think around 7,000 people, 7,000 people died during that period.
Well, they reported were like 1,500.
1,500,
but we know
the numbers might be quite more than that.
Yeah.
So yes, I think that is what the report is all about. It outlines the requirements that should be that are there for like a jurisdiction to have, so that such conflicts do not escalate to the extent that the post-election violence escalated to. First of all, it shaped the judiciary. That is, it made the judiciary actually recognize the the importance of ADR, that is including mediation, arbitration, and others,
Yes.
in the conflict resolution system. Because prior to the 2010 constitution, and good thing it is that it happened before the onset of the new constitution, before then, there was no recognition in, or no emphasis in these other forms of conflict resolution methods. All there was is just litigation.
Okay.
And we all know the perks that come with litigation.
Yeah.
It's a win-lose situation.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and it's all rivalry. But thanks to the mediation that Kofi Annan, that is the seventh Secretary General for the UN, came about in the Constitution of Kenya. That is, at the moment, it is recognized under Article 159, Article 159, Sub-Article 2, Section C of the Constitution of
You
Kenya.
know your stuff. Sabbatical what?
Sub-Article 2, C.
Yes.
Yeah, so it is now recognized, at least boldly by the judiciary, that it is something that works and can be applicable. And then number 2 is the strengthening of local mediators.
Yeah.
Well, before then, mediators were just like, it was a specific group of people who could practice mediation. But after that, we saw an increase in the number of mediation offering persons, institutions that offered the education, that is to become mediators, to certify mediators. There was establishment of MAC, that is Mediation Accreditation Commission, which is where now, as mediators, after we've done our training, for us to be accredited, we have to go and there's specific steps you should follow so that you become accredited. And by becoming accredited, you will be able to participate in court annexed mediation, which the court now gives you maybe a matter that has come to it, and they think mediation will be a better way of dealing with the matter. So yes, I think that those are the main things that Kofi Annan did.
Yeah. So recently, or rather currently, we have wars happening, right? Around us, we have the Sudan war, we have Congo, we have Palestine and Israel. There's always looming wars. It's safe to say that there's always a looming war in the current situation that we are. Russia, Ukraine, a lot happening in that front. So what are some of the? I would like to first of all, because you being a mediator, of course you are aware of the historical context and backgrounds of these wars. So could you paint a picture to us, like what are some of the historical backgrounds and context within which nations find themselves fighting? And then on top of that, is it that mediation is failing? Is it that diplomacy is failing because countries have been at it for quite a while? Like look at Palestine, Gaza. This is, the war between Palestine and Israel. These are wars that have dated back to biblical days, and it's not a lie. Yeah, so it's a lot to unpack there. So yeah.
Okay, so first of all, we can do the history of the conflicts in those 3 areas. That is Congo, Gaza, and
the Sudan.
South Sudan.
Yeah.
So let's start with Congo. Let's start with Congo. Congo was colonized in 1883. Back then, I think even Kenyans were just chilling. They didn't know anything about colonization, I think.
Because the first colonizer steps into Kenya 1895.
95, yes, thereabout.
Yeah.
So by then, Congo was colonized basically because of the minerals they have by then. So that, fast forward, we go to after the colonization, they gain independence in 1960.
Yes.
But the issue that arose by them gaining independence is that the independence was rushed. It was not well planned.
And it was a flag independence.
Yes.
As you like to call it.
So that came with its numerous challenges in that nobody knows how to run a country by that time. And we know that Patrice Lumumba came up at that moment, but was later assassinated. Now that, in that sense, we get to understand the political influence or the colonial influence that that there is in these conflict-stricken areas.
Yes.
And immediately after Patrice Lumumba was assassinated, there came Mobutu Sese Seko, and that is a clear depiction of what a corrupt leader is.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
there was actually instances where he was caught flying Concorde. By that time, it was only for the executives only, flying Concorde for shopping to Paris, and then you're like, oh, your country has an issue. But so yeah, and the conflict in Congo,
Yes.
it's ethnical. It's based on ethnicity. The ethnic groups are like in contention with each other on who is more superior than the other.
Okay.
But this is actually fueled by the colonial masters or the imperialist states that have at least a take in the minerals that there is in Congo. So that is the main challenge facing the war in Congo. The political influence, the instability of the entire region, the unaccountability of the government.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think that is now for Congo. We go to South Sudan.
Yeah.
So South Sudan, it is actually the youngest state in the world. It's the youngest.
The
country.
latest.
Yeah.
Yes.
2011. That is
Yeah.
when they gained independence.
Yeah.
But their wars began in around 1955. That is when their first civil war began. I think. For them, it is slightly different.
Okay.
Because it was based on religion, ethnic groups, and that is political influence, of course, from the colonial masters. And something most people, or quite a number of people don't know is that also Sudan and South Sudan have a contention on minerals, that is oil.
Oil, yeah.
Yeah, so that is 1955, the first civil war. The second civil war was maybe around 1993, thereabout to 2000, which 2005 is when the mediation process happened in Kenya. Yeah. So that is, and then we know of the two leaders we have. That is Riek Machar and
was it Salva Kiir?
Salva Kiir.
Yeah.
Yes. They come from different ethnic groups,
Right.
and they are all in contention of who is supposed to be like the leader of the land. And there has been instances, actually for the longest time, the wars have been between the Nuer and the Dinka. The Nuer and the Dinka, with contention with people from the Sudan now for about their religion and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, and going to Gaza. Now Gaza is Gaza
the
is
mother of all
mother of all civil
conflict.
war.
Yeah.
Mother of all conflict.
Yes.
So initially, we know Gaza initially was not occupied by. Okay, it was in existence, but it was under the British, I think. And then 1948, that is after the Second World War. It's when we understand what happened in Nazi Germany. So the Jews were relocated to Gaza, to that side of Palestine. And then there was now rubbing of shoulders and on who is like supposed to be the one in charge of this area, that is Gaza, the whole thing. And Israel became a state, yes, and Palestine was just secluded thereabout. Now, at the moment, we have that is Prime Minister Netanyahu, who has escalated now the civil war into something totally different.
Yes.
Totally different.
Yeah.
Now
Complete annihilation of
it's like ethnic
Palestinian
cleansing.
peoples.
It's ethnic cleansing.
Yeah.
It's not anything different from what was happening in Germany, that is in 1939 to 1845 thereabout.
Same.
Yeah, it's basically the same. It's just that they're trying to justify their stance that it's for self-defense. But of course, there might be something deeper than what we know, because we are limited to access to information that is pertaining whatever is happening there.
Yeah.
So and the influence that is in Gaza is actually so wide, so wide. We get the US has interest there. China is of course at least linked to whatever is going on. Yeah, and it's just a power play.
Yeah.
Yeah, power play between who is greater than the other.
Right.
Yeah, which I think from from my own observation, I think it will end in a very bad way.
And it does. And I think that also kind of leads me to my next question. Wars are very expensive, and there's definitely an economic cost to pay when two countries are warring, or more than two countries are warring. There's also a social cost to pay and a political cost at that. So what are some of these costs that conflicts and wars come with that we should be really, really afraid of?
Well, the effect of wars
Yeah.
is far beyond comprehension. Like the economical bit, first of all.
Yeah.
When war approaches, the people who are supposed to be like the first priority to be equipped are the military. So you get that funding is directed to military equipment and just combat. You get there is funding cut from other ministries that are equally not equally important, but are equitably important.
Yeah.
But then they get cut off because since we are in war, we have to have security for ourselves.
Yeah.
So that is the economical challenge that comes with war. That is redirection of funding
Yeah.
from other ministries to the defense. Also, there is loss of job. There is loss of capital because during war, nothing goes on. An example is whatever is going on in Sudan or all the countries. You get that the shops thereabout are closed.
Yes.
There's no like business. You cannot really say that is like for here we say that close of business is at 5.
Yeah.
There is like there is no open of business or close of business.
Okay.
So that is and it contributes to a loss for the country. It will definitely have an adverse effect on the economical stance of the country post-war. And what else? Loss of jobs. Cutting of fundings from maybe international organizations that were helping the country run, because nobody really wants to be in a place that there is conflict.
No.
So by that time, when war comes about, people have to go back to their own countries. The investors will withdraw their services,
Yeah.
which will have quite a gruesome effect
Yeah.
to the society.
Yeah.
And then when it comes to the social bit,
Yeah.
there is loss of lives, which is, of course, the ultimate price a person can pay is for any wrong done is loss of their life.
Yes. Yes.
We get an example in the war in Sudan so far. I think the population that has been confirmed between, I think last year and now, is maybe 7,000, thereabout, the death toll. Going to Gaza is about 50,000 people. Innocent civilians, of course, included there. I haven't really studied about Ukraine, but Congo, I have forgotten the numbers,
Yeah.
but it's
a lot. Yeah.
It's a lot of
Yeah.
people who have died.
Yeah.
So that is on the social aspect, we get to lose a lot because let's assume right now we're in this room, comfortably sitting, we're having a normal conversation.
Yes.
And then suddenly we get like an explosion.
Yeah.
And then
Just
we are
next.
exterminated that way.
Yeah.
So our friends, our families, social breakdown, there is trauma occasioned for survivors, people who view whatever is happening, especially the kids. And I guess that trauma that comes with war is priceless. Like you cannot really say that if I compensate you a specific amount, I will do away with the trauma, because the trauma is intense.
Yeah.
Especially to the kids, because they are growing up. Whatever they see is what they will work with for the rest of their life.
Yes.
So yes, that is what I think on the social bit, and the political bit is you get now at that moment of war, everybody is like confused on who to trust, on who to believe, who to follow. It brings about mistrust in the existing institutions. You get that at the moment, you get Israelis are behind Netanyahu, but there are some who are saying, how can we be following somebody who is maybe encouraging death of innocent civilians and aid workers, and that's the beginning of when we have the slightest mistrust in political institutions, then it means there is a wider problem that has to be dealt with. If not, then the whole country will soon collapse. Yeah, and the existing institutions will actually collapse. Well, basically, that is what I think on the political implications of war.
Yeah. Okay. For there to be a sustainable mediation or mediating, I would think I would call it system, there has to be building blocks and pillars that guide, the guiding principles, ethics around that. So what are they? What are some of the building blocks and pillars that make a good and a great mediation system?
Okay. So in mediation, there is one thing that there is one statement that we usually work with from the first day of training as a mediator to your practice. Like everywhere you walk, you need to have that statement in your mind.
Yeah.
It's the essential process of mediation. This essential process is, what can we say, is face-to-face conversation without long enough to achieve a solution.
Okay.
In that, in mediation, the whole essence of the mediation process is to ensure that the parties in conflict sit side to side or just opposite each other or whichever manner. They talk the things out long enough, however how long it takes, as long as they arrive at a resolution of the sort. And in the principles or the building blocks of mediation, we have number one is transparency.
Okay.
We have transparency. We have voluntariness. In mediation, we are not forced. Actually, the court even never like forces you to go to mediation. You're just you're urged to before you go to court for litigation. You are usually advised to exhaust all other existing remedies that may be there, so that you come to a resolution of whatever is happening. So for parties to come for mediation, it has to be voluntary. No coercion, no anything, no influence. Just the two parties themselves decide, okay, we want to settle our things amicably. Let's go for a mediation process. We iron things out and better tomorrow. Have a better tomorrow. Number two is autonomy, in that the parties to the mediation process are the ones who drive the outcome of the mediation. If we want to compromise in a specific way, as the mediator, I have no purpose whatsoever to get in and tell them, no, do this, do that. It is all on them to decide. And confidentiality.
Yes.
Whatever goes on in a mediation process has to stay there. Perhaps, let's say we are in a mediation process right now, and then I jot down some few notes on my booklet. It is good ethics that after the mediation process is done, I check the paper, maybe burn it or tear it down, and like everything.
Just let bygones be bygones.
Yes.
Okay.
So after the mediation process, when we meet out here, we don't refer to, I remember we had this issue with you in for a mediation process and something. What happens in a mediation room is not like the court, that it is open to the public.
No.
It stays between the parties that are there.
Okay.
Yes. I think those are the main ones. Those are the main pillars that are there. Of course, with the extension to others that maybe I am not stated.
Right. Yes. Of course, egos are bruised because, there's a level of ego death that goes on. Because what do you mean that we needed a whole Kofi Annan to come and get Kenya back to order? Because the two leaders couldn't just see eye to eye. I think it's more of an ego thing than more than anything.
Actually, there's a book I'm reading, but I read by Ryan Holiday.
Yes.
It's titled "Ego is the Enemy." In everything that we do, ego is always the enemy.
Right. Right.
So in that instance, even in whatever wars that are there, that is Sudan, Congo, the Gaza and everything, even Russia and Ukraine.
Yes.
It's all about ego. If the persons, the leaders decide that, okay, let me cool down my ego, let's come, sit down, iron things out, rub against each other, just so that we can come to an amicable solution that will avert the war. But it's like everybody wants to It's like it's a cockfight.
It
Everybody
is.
wants to.
Yeah, mi ndio
Mi
kusema.
ndio kusema.
Damn.
Which should not be the case.
At the expense of a lot of millions of people. That's not cool, guys. All right, let's take a quick breather. We are still here with Mr. Graham Mboya, a certified professional mediator, and we are talking about the role that mediation plays in conflict resolution. When we come back, we look at, is conflict completely avoidable? I tend to believe that it is, but because of the egos, the sizing of egos that we deal with, Graham Mboya will be telling us more. So if you have those questions, kindly do send them in. We'll be seeing you right after this.
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Power Radio.
You see, addicted, you got my body lifted. Girl, you're so gifted, I never should have ifed it. Don't believe I missed it. How did I not get this? Leave me so breathless, leave me so helpless. Shame on the pain that I feel is in your name. Yet again, I'll be floating like a KLM plane. My game should back this dame, but she's so against me like a kid in broccoli. Sorry, let me speak properly, but she bad to the bone, so she ought to know me. Slowly, I will approach these, stroke on my goatee, then introduce me. No need to blame it on the cause girl, I know you wanna get loose. In truth, I'm a real sweet dude, so this song is for you. I'm addicted to you.
Hey, I never saw it coming. Something about you that I just keep wanting, and I don't know what else to say. I never ever felt this way. You got me so deep.
Yeah. Young Cass. There go. Kiss my pretty lady. Yeah, you drive me crazy. Like I'm blindfolded, high rolling in a Mercedes. In one word, baby girl, you're amazing. Yeah, you got me sprung, baby. Can I have you daily? Want you by my side, baby, if I had a wish. Always need you there to give me a little kiss. From day one, I knew it would be like this. I'm loving your swagger, baby, you so glamorous. Yes, my pretty mommy, or should I call you darling? Be my princess and I can be your prince charming. We can hold hands in the sands in Malawi. Then we set sails on our way to Diani. I'll take you where the weather is sunny, and it's all on me, baby girl, don't bring no money. I got a chef if you ever feel hungry. Breakfast in bed, eyes red, late in the morning. Cass.
I never saw it coming. Something about you that I just keep wanting, and I don't know what else to say. I never ever felt this way. You got me so deep. I know what this could be if you and me got along. In time you see that you need me, and oh, hey, I got you. No matter what we go through, we'll be cool. No matter what they say, you'll be my dude. Me plus you. Ooh, hey, I never saw it coming. Something about you that I just keep wanting, and I don't know what else to say. I never ever felt this way. You got me so deep.
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Power Radio.
Unawasha moto hata bila kwa na kibiriti. Ufanya nini ndio ukaange tufiti hivi akimama, mpaka moyo wangu unasimama. Na ungekuwa chakula penzi wangu ningeweka nyingi. Kupata mchuzi kama wako manze si rahisi akimama. Sitaki tena mikukudanganya. Chumi ukuonea mbali na kwanga na tamani. Venye sijawahi sema sitakangi drama. Je uko na chali ama uko single? Na kauko single pia naeza dai tumingo. Na itakuwa uchungu sana ukinilenga. Juu kwa ndoto zangu waukuanga wangu. Na si upenda na for real, for real. Nataka ukuwe wangu for real, for real. Nataka ukuwe wangu for real, for real, for real. Njoo basi ukuwe wangu for real. Yeah, Kidege, kidege, tumepanda matatu lakini kesho ndege. Penzi mini mina wewe, juu hii safari jo sioni bila wewe. La salama salaminda kufikisha hapo. Fumba na ufumbue macho, nataka niwe wako. Njoo nitulizie mawazo, nataka penzi lako. Kuja nimefungua milango, iko wazi juu yako. Na itakuwa uchungu sana ukinilenga. Juu kwa ndoto zangu we ukuanga wangu. Nisiupendana for real, for real. Nataka ukuwe wangu for real, for real. Nataka ukuwe wangu for real, for real, for real. Njoo basi ukuwe wangu for real, for real. Nataka for real. Nataka ukuwe wangu for real, for real, for real. Njoo basi ukuwe wangu for real. Uwe wangu, uwe wangu, uwe wangu, uwe wangu, kuwa wangu ma. Uwe wangu, uwe wangu, wangu, uwe wangu, uwe wangu, uwe wangu.
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Power Radio.
All right, that is Watenda Willie for real, and it's playing right here on Power Radio. This is the Power Morning Drive show. My name is Wanyoike, and I am still here with Mr. Graham Mboya. We are in the meats and the bones of discussing what is the role of mediation in conflict resolution. And let me just take a little bit of some comments happening here on our YouTube feed. Moses Nyameino, is that someone that you know? Najuanga mafans wanakujanga na mafans wao. All right, shout out to you, Mr. Moses Nyameino. He's saying loving the show, sterling performance. Hey, my fans. Asanteni, please subscribe to our YouTube channel while you're at it. Thank you so much. We also have Oseko. Top-notch conversation. I am loving this. Shout out to you as well, Oseko. Please kindly subscribe so that we get to, continue to bring you this kind of conversations as well, because it's quite important. It's very important for us to be able to discuss issues that affect us and that speak to our daily occurrences. So before we left off break, I had given a question there. Is conflict completely unavoidable, or is it avoidable?
Well, by the mere fact of us being human, conflict can never
be
never
avoided.
cease. Yeah.
Hey.
But actually, you can remember in the definition when
Yeah.
you're saying
Yeah.
conflict is just a meeting, not like an understanding of ideas. And as humans,
Yes.
we all have different ideas.
Yes.
You as a person has different ideas about things that you know. So conflict, in its sense, even within yourself, can never end.
Yes.
Because sometimes, let's assume choosing an outfit for today, you just opened your closet and then you're like, wow, okay, so what am I going to put on? Am I going to take this shirt?
Yeah.
Am I going to take this black tie or this red one or this gray one? Am I going to put on a trench coat or a suit? So it is just different ideas, and that now substantiates that conflict will never cease. The only thing that we can do is just reduce the amount of conflict, the effects of conflict, and how we handle conflict when it arises.
Yeah.
Yes.
What is the role? Because in diplomatic spaces, I keep hearing, "Oh, Kenya is a very important country geopolitically because of, I don't know, they're like we are placed in a place. We are placed at a space where a lot of countries like sort of find refuge. When there's wars and whatnot. So, is it by design that Kenya is so important geopolitically, and what is the role that we play as a mediator? Because I'm sure we are in many spaces, despite the fact that we were just added into the United Nations Security Council just the other day. Yeah, where does that leave us?
Well, I think Kenya is privileged in very many ways.
Apart from our
Okay, yes. Apart from that, apart from that. But in other spectrums, we are quite privileged in that Kenya is, apart from other countries, Kenya is like a small superpower. We can say that it's like a small superpower, or whatever happens in Kenya can be felt in many countries in Africa. Take an example. Let's backdate to the sad occurrences that is the last year, Gen Z protest.
Yes.
It happened in Kenya. Yes, we were thinking it's just an issue about us and doing things about our own country.
Yeah.
But the ripple effect that it had was felt even in Bangladesh. It initiated their own protest that they was it excommunicated or they removed their prime minister. That is. So Kenya is very important, even though sometimes we might think that we are not as important. But yes, it is. An example, the 2005, that is for South Sudan, the negotiations, the civil war that they had to happen in Kenya.
Which and even right now with like the whole junta and the whatever, they are also still coming to Kenya.
Also still
I don't understand that. Why? They should be talking and talking it out in their country.
Okay.
What is that about?
They cannot be talking it out in their country because when they do that, it negates the whole sense of mediation. Because Kenya is actually acting as a mediator.
Okay.
Where the mediation process has to be impartial. Has to be impartial. When it happens in their country, then it means there will be some influences from outside parties, from the people within and outside on the outcome that will be generated. But when they come to Kenya, it's like it's fair ground for both parties that are in conflict. They come, the decisions that will be made will be at least fair to both parties. What else? By the fact that we have, I think the presence of the United Nations office in Nairobi is playing a critical role in enhancing our stance in the global space, in conflict resolutions. Because if it were not here, I think maybe it could have been taken to Tanzania or something.
Yeah.
But the fact that it is here makes Kenya look like a safe haven. We can come here. There is some sense of fairness, some sense of accountability, also in quotes. Yeah. So I think that is that. Even in we had that the junta forces.
Yeah.
They were in Kenya.
They were during
some hotel. In
yes,
Upper Hill.
yeah.
Is it Serena? I'm not even
Yes,
sure.
I am not so sure as well. Yeah, but they were here when
were
their
here.
country was in shambles, and then it had a lot of there was a lot of conversation about how this is a bad diplomatic image that Kenya is portraying.
Well,
Yeah.
that is talking from us. I think people who say it was a bad diplomatic
Image. Yes.
they're talking from a sense of what can I say? Not despise, but bias. Some sense of bias.
How so?
Just as I've said, mediation has to be like totally free from bias. So I think they couldn't have done it elsewhere if not Kenya, because in Kenya they don't have any influence to anyone else, or nobody else has influence towards their actions. But the motive that they had is what now validates the point that people are saying it was a bad diplomatic image being created, because actually they came to, was it create a parallel government that is going to run concurrently with the current one.
Yes.
So I think that is what now substantiate the claims that it severed the diplomatic stance of our country, but objectively, we can say that it wasn't as bad as people say it.
Yeah.
Yes. The only thing that Kenya now messed, our leadership messed, is remember when our president contacted the president of France. Now that became a whole rampage.
That
is something totally different.
Yes.
Because
yes.
Even Kofi Annan himself, the whole reason why he decided to come to Kenya to settle the issue is because he thought it would be better that it is Africans for Africa.
Yes.
I think that makes some sense.
Yes.
In that issues that arise from Africans are to be settled within Africa by the fellow Africans themselves.
Yes.
But by the fact that our president, yes, we do. Okay, we can say we respect the office of the president, but that was some foul move by contacting a colonial master that people are actually fighting against, like Niger.
Yeah.
Contacting such a person, even though yes, you have some diplomatic ties with them,
Yeah.
to come into an issue of an African country that is struggling with the same people that they're trying to remove from their place. So that is the only place that I think Kenya, a diplomatic relationship, that one there was some mistake.
Yeah. Yes. A bad PR move as well.
Yes.
But why then is diplomacy failing? Like, we can for sure say that diplomacy is failing as a tool of mediation. Yeah. How do we innovate that space? Because,
Wow, okay. That is okay. That is interesting. We can say diplomacy is failing because of the failings of us.
Okay, as the people.
In that, so first things first.
Yeah.
We think that diplomacy is failing mainly because of people are more into, let us do things us as a country. We don't need influence from outside or something. In the sense that people are more nationalized. We tend to say that our policies that are in the country are sufficient to deal with our issues. We don't need help from outside. So that is number one. Number two is not trusting in the institutions, in the international institutions.
Yes.
Just a few weeks ago, not a few weeks ago, just over 2016.
Yeah.
2016, Burundi quit the ICC.
Yes.
2019, another country, I've forgotten the name, another country just quit ICC. And then recently, Hungary quit ICC. They said they're going to quit ICC.
Yeah.
Just shortly after Prime Minister Netanyahu had visited, he had a state visit, and then we all do understand that there was a warrant of arrest for the Prime Minister. But the fact that Hungary took him in when he went for a state visit, it now put Hungary in a position that was quite not agreeable. So they say that, okay, now that you have an issue with the Prime Minister, we don't, so let us quit this institution and you do things your own way, we will do things our own way. So I think those are the two main reasons why the what exactly?
Diplomacy.
The diplomacy
is failing.
Yes,
Yeah.
because the countries believe in themselves, and there is mistrust in the international organizations. Even in Africa, there is mistrust in the AU, with some specific countries, IGAD, EAC, sorry. Yes, those are what I think are the main blockades to achieving like sufficient diplomacy.
So then on the flip side of it, what are some of the best practices that we should be employing towards conflict resolution?
Well, number one,
Yeah.
in reference to the report that is for the 2007-2008 conflict in Kenya, the conflict, as soon as it arises, it is good practice that as soon as it arises, we need to come up with a solution. We need to come up with a way that we curb the situation before it escalates into something else. Because we all understand that conflict is like it's a cell that mutates over time. Over time, when it's fed, when it continues being fed, it mutates. So we can say that maybe the conflict that was there 2 months ago could have been settled by just mere talking, sitting on the same table. But when it comes like 2 months later, the conflict was never resolved. Then now it's like there is hatred or something that has been brewed over that time.
Period of time, yeah.
So we're like at the point that I cannot sit next to the adversary or the other party that we are in disagreement with. So that one becomes a total challenge in ensuring that conflict resolution is effective.
Yeah.
Transparency also. We need to, when conflict arises, we need to be at least transparent enough to acknowledge that the conflict indeed is a thing that is there.
Yeah.
And we need to sort it out, and the whole public has to know that such a conflict exists, and this is how we're planning to eradicate the same. Just a reference to whatever is happening in the rift, the banditry. At least the country came out in resolving the conflict. The country came out and say that we are deploying were they police or the KDF to go there and just maintain law and order. At least it was transparency enough so that we know this is a mechanism that has been put forward to ensure that at least the conflict that is there between the people living around the area at least is resolved. Number three is I think neutrality.
Okay.
Neutrality in the persons who are conducting the conflict resolution proceeding or something. When I sit here as a mediator, I'm not supposed to take sides in whatever way. I'm not supposed to influence the decision that comes in whatever way. So I just sit and help you through your conversations with each other, so that whatever comes as a solution is not a solution that you will say that, oh, this solution is, we only reached this agreement because it is you who led us to this.
Right.
An example is the 2007-2008.
Yeah.
They just sat down, talked. I believe it was a lengthy
conversation.
Process. Yes. To the point that it reached that, and they were like, okay, so we only have an issue with power. So let's do this. Acha tuchukue nusu mkate.
Yeah.
I have this, you have that. And then immediately after that, I think things were now level. The conflict that was there immediately ceased, and life was back to normal. Okay, back to normal, not as expected, but at least it was back to normal. So yes, those are the main ones, the best practices that are there.
Yeah.
And just the people who are in conflict at least should be open enough to talk to each other, to address their issues. It is not good practice for that maybe we have a bone to chew with you, but then you're like, when I approach you and I'm saying, okay, we have an issue with you, we have to discuss this.
Yeah.
And then you're like, no problem, I'm just
Tuko
okay.
sawa.
Niko sawa. It should not be that way. If you have an issue with a person or a body or just anything, it is good practice for you to address the issue live, like one-on-one, whether you can do it on the face, maybe in writing, in a voice note, just in any way possible. But it is good practice to communicate.
Right.
Yes.
Conflict is no longer just blood wars and violence, right? We also have technological or digitally facilitated or digital wars and conflict as well. I mean, we just saw China and the US the other day in their whole technological war. When DeepSeek came out, there was it was a whole whirlwind, right? So I wonder, how could African countries build resilient systems to buffer ourselves from these digital wars? Because in one way or the other, we will enter the chat.
Yes.
And I'm afraid that we will enter the chat in wars that we don't even have to get into or involved in to begin with. Yeah. So how do we ensure that we troubleshoot all of that, specifically digitally?
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, the digital space is something that is ever evolving.
Yeah.
The technology is ever evolving.
Yeah.
A few years back, we didn't know what AI is. Right now, I think everybody knows what AI is. And the advancement of technologies comes with its pros and cons, of course. And as a continent or as a country, let me just scale it down to as a country, we need to be at least much more prepared for such things, because cyber attacks do happen. I think recently there was some cyber crimes about involving, was it, I don't know, Safaricom. There's some banks that have been hacked
with the e-citizen as well. Yeah.
So I think we have to come up with frameworks. Number one, that is legal framework. Our legal framework, I can say, is well established. Of course, can be further can be made better over time. But our legal framework is quite established to cater for such crimes and whatever that come with the advancement of technology.
Yeah.
And institutions that are supposed to be enforcing, they're supposed to be enforcing these guidelines that have been produced, that have been provided, are now maybe what are failing, might be failing in execution of their duties.
Right.
So I think by making the institutions much more effective or in their duties, yes, I think we will be in a better position if at all we get to enter in these digital wars that there is. Yeah, having safeguards, maybe like firewalls that, okay, I don't know anything about IT, but there's a way that they can structure our social media platforms, our media access, our internet access, to a way that at least we are protected from any harm whatsoever.
Right.
So that is something that should be invested in by the Ministry of, I think, Communication or something. Yeah, research in digital in the digital space. Yes.
All right. Let me just take a little bit of some comments here. Shout out to Achieng. She says, an insightful discussion on mediation. Your clarity and depth of knowledge are truly impressive, Mboya. The show is amazing. Oh, thank you, Achieng. And thank you for taking the time to join us this morning on Power Radio. We also have a comment here from Derek. He says, very well curated, in-depth analysis and discussion from Graham Mboya. Good work, wakili. Wewe umewalipa shilingi ngapi? Umewalipa shilingi ngapi? Loyal fans, eh? Shout out to you as well. Shout out to you, Derek. And we also have Bevon Ratemo. Congratulations on reaching this milestone. Kudos, wakili. Your people are really the ones, man. Hey, do you have any questions for Mr. Wakili as we wrap up our conversation? Please, if you do, send those questions and I will be sure to let him answer them. But while at it, kindly subscribe to Power Radio so that we can continue bringing you some of these conversations, because it's important and we need to have these conversations going on for sure. Let me go to our Facebook comments. SC Jeff, the show has been insightful indeed. Do you know SC Jeff?
Yes.
You
yeah.
do?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, sawa. That's amazing. So thank you so much for as well tuning in, and we continue with our discussion today. So Graham, that indeed, as the viewers and the audience are saying, this has been quite insightful. You could see me jotting down notes as I was in class, right? I was learning, but unfortunately, we are really, really pressed for time. So as we wrap up our conversation, where do we go from here? What could I think the best way to wrap this conversation is, where have we come from as mediation? Where are we, and what does the future of mediation and conflict resolution look like? I mean, I know there's going to be more wars, because you can tell there's going to be more wars, but I don't know. Where do we go from here?
Okay, so throughout our conversation, we've known what mediation does, its capabilities, and something at least we appreciate in the Kenyan legal system is that at least mediation is mentioned in almost each and every act of parliament as an alternative source, as an alternative method of dispute resolution.
Yeah.
So we are not necessitated as back in the day when you say you have an issue with a person, you just tell them, oh, you'll hear from my lawyer, or see you in court. At the moment, we understand the length, how lengthy it is to go to court.
Yes.
The amount of time you spend going to court, the amount of money you get to spend going to court. Well, instead of counting on litigation, which is also fairly a good avenue for seeking justice, going through mediation, arbitration, and all other forms of dispute resolution, apart from litigation, is I think something that we should take into consideration. We should think about that. In the drafting of our contracts, our agreements, and everything, sales of maybe land and everything, we should at least ensure that in the clauses that are there, we include a specific form of dispute resolution, if at all anything arises, just to avert the need of immediately going to court and prolonging a case, because we've had cases going for decades, maybe 2, 3 thereabout.
Yeah.
And even you get that the person who had initiated the case is long gone. Now the person who's going to benefit is maybe the grandkid or something, which should not be the case. I believe that all conflicts that exist can be sorted out in a manner that is agreeable to both parties within the shortest period of time. If at all, everybody just decides, let me put my ego down, let us set our differences aside, sit down and talk things out. Yes.
All right. I think that's a good place to end. Any final remarks?
Final remarks.
Yeah.
There's a saying by Immanuel Kant.
Yes.
Let's say he's a philosopher. Where he said that us as humans, we're like from wood. Let me just say it in lay language. We're from wood. And even though how hard we try to be straight, we can never be straight. All we can do is strive to be straighter. So in all our dealings, let us just try to let us try to be diligent enough in what we do, in the way of life we live. And I believe that will have an adverse effect in reducing all the challenges that we face. And I think that is all.
That's all?
That's all.
Fantastic. All right. If people want to maybe engage you more, I know you're also in KMUN, you know. Who's a Sarah Manze? You never know who is watching.
Oh, okay.
How can people get in touch with you?
Okay.
Yeah.
So, I'm in all social media platforms. That is in Instagram, _gr.mboya.
Yeah.
My number, I only have one number, which I don't know if it is appropriate to share.
No.
It is not appropriate to share.
No.
Yeah, but
Instagram is okay.
Instagram is very okay. You can catch me there.
Yes.
I usually have a lot going on. Yeah, if you have an issue, just find a way of reaching out.
Yeah.
I will help you. If you have a matter that needs to go through mediation, I do legal drafting.
Okay.
Some sense of legal drafting, contracts, sale of lands. So if you have...
Do you mediate between boyfriend and girlfriends who can't see eye to eye? I'm kidding.
But it can be done.
Okay.
It can be done. Yeah.
There you go. Please save marriages out here.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Mr. Graham Mboya, for the privilege of your time. And we hope we can have you again and again.
Yes,
now you're
yes,
of our radio family.
Yeah, thank you
now
very much.
we will have to
Available.
see you again and again.
So.
Awesome. Thank you so much. We have been speaking to Graham Mboya there on mediation and why it's important for us to ensure that we streamline our mediation systems and how can we achieve peaceable, sustainable futures as well. So in case you missed out on that conversation, go back and watch. It's still there on our YouTube channel, that is Pawa Radio, and also on our Facebook and as well on our X. But before I let you guys go, let me just give you a rundown of what to expect today. From 11 a.m., Ms. Murote Caroline comes in with Shiva sessions to discuss all things women. So you definitely do not want to miss out on that. And then later on, we have our in-house wakili, Mr. James Wanyoike, is on the Sharia Dive show, and he's going rather to be dissecting something that has been happening in the constitutional law, all things legalese, everything in between, on Sharia Dive from 5 p.m. all the way till 7 p.m. So that's definitely a conversation that you do not want to miss out on. But for me, for now, it's a goodbye. On Wednesday, I'll see you on Wednesday, and we shall be discussing digital transformation and soft skills training for youth empowerment. Why is it important to have this kind of discussion? Well, you'll have to tune in on Wednesday from 8 a.m. till 10 a.m. to find out. We shall be joined by the CEO and co-founder of Pro Strategy Africa, Mr. Pascal Allo himself. And that's just it. It's a wrap. I will see you tonight at Nairobi Cinema. Yes, we always have the Fitness in the Word Fellowship. It's open to everybody. And when I say everybody, I mean everybody is interdenominational. So see you at Nairobi Cinema from 5 p.m. All right? Yes, it's a goodbye from me. I'll see you on Wednesday. God bless you. Thank you so everybody who was able to tune in to the Pawa Morning Drive show. We do this again on Wednesday. Bye-bye.
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Pawa Radio.
Only just full of vibes, sunshine rise, anything for your sacrifice. Katika maisha yangu unanichoma kama fire, my feelings multiply, stick on me like a tattoo, whisper munda mokutu, cultivate, penetrate, digida munda munzeko na wetutu. Situla omokwano heaven, lete munyenye no mwezi heaven. Bring it on reggaeton, chakala munda monzeko na wetutu. I have nothing go do as a party. Kutwa sawa kati, yeah. Nothing, tewali. Kutwa sawa kati, mubula muli party. Stick on me like a tattoo, whisper munda mokutu, cultivate, penetrate, digida munda monzeko na wetutu. Situla omokwano heaven. Lete munyenye no mwezi heaven. Bring it on reggaeton chakala munda monzeko nawe tutu. Ngane anze kwe okubangoli nange. Obobozi boboncha mola nyumirwa chakalanga ndinawe. Oh ngane simye malaikeri nange. Bino vyola basanyuka ndigidara kubanze ndinawe. Nothing go do us a party. Kutwa sawakati. Nothing Tewali kutwa sawakati. Mubula mulipati.
From Sun